You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Good morning. Welcome to Brewtiful Morning in Rutherford. Thank you all for joining us this November the 5th, 2021. And as we ask you, try to get on every Friday morning at 8:30. Thanks everybody join us, and be sure to tell friends and family to get in with us. But my name is Jimmy Dancy. I'm the proud mayor of this wonderful town of Rutherford. With me this morning is my favorite grandson, Jackson. Can you wave, everybody? This is a special week, a special weekend for Jackson, because he is celebrating a birthday. Tell everybody how old you're going to be.
4.
Jackson's going to be 4 on Sunday. He's got a birthday party at preschool this morning. Then he's got another birthday party scheduled for tomorrow. So he's going to have a busy weekend. And then his celebration of his birthday is on Sunday. So it'll be good to have him with us. But thanks again for joining us. Thanks for Doug Magnolia getting us on. We're going to try to talk about some events that's happened this week. First, I want to take the opportunity to thank everybody that came out Tuesday in the election and the municipalities, and congratulate all of our elected officials in our whole county. And I thank everyone that voted in the town of Rutherford. I thank you for support and re-elected me for another term. But also I want to congratulate Stan Clements on renewal of his appointment on the council, but also thank Doris Croup for being a new member of our group of Quanta on our council. She is very important to our community, and she's going to be on our council in the future. So I thank her for being a part of us, and I congratulate us. Now, Doug Ubanay is going to take us through a bunch of other stuff that's happened this week at our council and some other activities that's going on. But thank you again for joining us this beautiful morning in the Rutherford. Magnolia, Doug, it's all yours.
Well, good morning, and Jackson, a happy birthday to you. I hope you have a great time at your party today at school.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We do have a good episode this morning. I know the post said you're going to be surprised, but one of the things that we've been trying to do is the Brewtiful Mornings episode that comes after our normal scheduled council meeting is to kind of do a recap of what council action was during that month, and to begin looking at, some of the action items that were taken during that meeting. So we had a lot of stuff to cover last month, and like the mayor said, Jackson's off to preschool, and so he is going to be stepping away from Brewtiful Mornings this morning. We do have some other guests that are going to step in here in a little while, but we do have a fun little kind of a wrap up on the agenda. So let's start with the Roots of Hope dinner. So we had Travis and Allison Smith from Blue Ridge Hope, along with Addie from Blue Ridge Hope. They came along with Magnolia and kind of gave an update on where we stood with our Roots of Hope dinner. And we had a special presentation to Miss Addie too. But Magnolia, do you want to give us a quick recap just on Roots of Hope? I know a lot of people that watch regularly kind of know what that is, but maybe are interested in kind of some final numbers there.
Absolutely. So I believe we sold a total of 174 dinners. And I think the pickup went relatively smoothly for like little drive-through service. But we raised just shy of $8,000 or $9,000 through our sponsorship money, through the meal sales, and through the donations that were given the night of like the online event. So it was a lot of fun. If you missed the live event, it is still on our Facebook page on My Brother for 10, Ruffton Roots, and Blue Ridge Hope. So you're welcome to go back and tune in and watch. There was a point where Doug and Travis had dressed up in like wrestling suits, like Hulkmania. I don't even know the people's names, but it was mildly amusing. If you were
only mildly amusing. Okay.
I was having such a hard time like figuring out what y'all were trying to say, so I was just like nodding along, but it was good. So like that is definitely still up for anybody who's interested in going back and watching.
So one of the cool things that we are able to do is some of you have maybe heard what we have kind of started, but earlier this year, the mayor and I really got together and wanted to find a way to just kind of recognize people in our community. We know that there is an exorbitant amount of great work that happens every day behind the scenes, whether it be town staff or just people out in the community that have a heart for service. So we started what we call the I Caught You Caring Award, and it's a challenge coin. So many that are associated with the military or public service know about a challenge coin. And this is just a little challenge coin that we've designed. Magnolia helped us design this. It says I Caught You Caring, and then on the back, it's got some information about why the award was given. And on our website, I'm going to try this here, Magnolia. On our website. Yep. Give me a second. All right.
You want me to pull it up, or you got it?
Oh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this here. All right. On our website is a I Caught You Caring Award. Did it work?
Yep.
All right. Is I Caught You Caring nomination. And it kind of talks about the program. And then there's just a quick little web fillable way to nominate people for I Caught You Caring. So there's a lot of times that we get to see things as the town manager, as the mayor, town staff. And we'll nominate folks, but a lot of our nominations here of late have come through the community. So if you're seeing somebody that's, in and around the Rutherford community working hard, going above the call of duty, please submit them for that. And we would love to present them, kind of surprise them with a challenge coin. So it's right here. Be glad to kind of share the link in the comments below, but it's just a great way for us to recognize people. So somebody had stepped up and recognized Addie for her work. As she said during the council meeting, the Roots of Hope dinner, was about a 5-month-long planning process that started off as kind of a community table dinner. You see these all around on social media or different news articles around the country where the entire community comes together along one big, white tablecloth, table on Main Street or part of their downtown. And it transformed through COVID, obviously, into how it was transpired in year one. But Addie was one of the driving forces in that. And so we want to thank her for that. Roots of Hope was not her full-time job. She had other duties with Blue Ridge Hope to take care of that day. And here you see Addie presented with that. And then also at the council meeting, we were able to hear from a young man by Luke. His name is Lucas McDaniel. And Lucas is a rising Life Scout with one of our local troops, and he's been working on an Eagle Scout project. I'm going to try this, share my screen one more time. Let's see here. And okay. So Lucas has been working over the last few months on a veterans memorial up in our cemetery. So many years ago, there was another Eagle Scout that had kind of started a veterans memorial, and it kind of featured just the monument in the middle. And Lucas kind of took it to the next level, put some monuments out there, really redid the edging, redid the base, installed a flagpole, and you can kind of see here the sun coming up over the veterans memorial. And as that process was going on, we had a young man in our community who had unfortunately lost his grandfather and had reached out to me to ask about the town's veteran memorial or veteran garden. And I gave him the kind of the synopsis that there was a young man that was working on as an Eagle Scout project and trying to improve the Veterans Memorial there. And so he actually nominated Lucas for that award. And so we were, it was really fun to work with Lucas, have him come to the council meeting to explain his process as he sits for his Eagle board, and then to present him with a I Caught You Carrying challenge coin. So that was some fun part of the meeting. And then I also want to say two things. I know Leanna Torvin, who is our executive director for Rutherford Town Rising, was not able to make the meeting, but there is still some great news that's coming out of RTR right now. I'll hit one of them and I'll let Magnolia hit the other. The first is that our Duke Energy Hometown Revitalization grants are still open. Those are open until November the 15th at midnight. You've heard us talk about it on here before. Those grants start at $500, go up to $2,500. There's no match from our businesses. The key is you have to be an actual storefront business. So it has to be a brick and mortar location. It can't be a work from home kind of thing. You actually have to have an office or storefront. And you can get up to $2,500 to help you pivot and innovate around ways that you want to expand your business because of COVID. Maybe you've seen a way that, I really wish we welcomed our customers this way, or I really wish we had this to do that. This is an opportunity for some funding to go alongside of that. Can't be used for payroll or power bills or rent or anything like that, but it can be used to help improve your business. So I encourage businesses to fill that out. This is a great opportunity, for us to be able to give those funds away in our community. So that's still open through the 15th. It should take you about 5-10 minutes to put that together. It's not a very hard application at all. And then I'm going to toss it back to Magnolia because RTR is going to be working on a project coming up very soon.
Yeah, so just like everybody is freaking out about the supply chain issues and making sure that we have Christmas presents for family and friends and whatnot, but RTR is putting together the Wrapped Up Rutherfordton event again this year. So I'm really excited. I got to work on it last year as a part of my fellowship, and I had so much fun. And I think it's really cool that Rutherfordton has the ability to focus on what matters, which is supporting our local businesses. So I know Doug made a joke in our council meeting about how they don't have supply chain issues. So it's awesome. But I know that the website is going to be going live on Black Friday. And from there, you'll be able to go through and either create a basket or purchase one that's already pre-made or customize it rather. And then I know that it's going to be open for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll close the sales, and then they'll be available to be picked up from the Rutherfordton Clubhouse, I think, on December 17th. So we're still in the very beginning stages of getting it planned out and everything, but we'll be releasing more information as time goes on, but I'm super excited. So I think we got Christmas covered.
Yep. So kind of walking through the council agenda, we also had the opportunity to share with our 2021 Citizens Academy graduates. So the November council meeting also acts as the graduation ceremony and, kind of pseudo class or experience, if you will, and graduation for our Citizens Academy. So they started back in September. They go for 7 weeks throughout different courses. They start with the mayor and I, and then every Thursday night for a few hours, they kind of work their way through our departments and work with our department heads and our staff to really get a better understanding of town operations. And it's really a way for them, our kind of mantra for the class is engage, participate, and innovate. And so it's just a way for them and us to learn more from the citizens, for the citizens to learn more about us, and then for us to grow in our service together. So that was a really fun time. I want to thank Shannon Bird, Simon Carter, Doris Crute, Andy Dance, and Greg Thomas. Those were the 5 participants that ended up at our graduation ceremony. I believe we started with 7, and just due to health concerns and some issues throughout the way. As always, we had a couple of folks drop out, but we want to thank those. And hey, good morning, Doris. Thank you for watching. As many of y'all have heard Doris's name, she is also one of our council member elect, like Mayor Dancy had said at the beginning of the call. So that was a fun time. Definitely encourage everybody to sign up for that. Right on the same link page for the I Caught You Caring, on that same page, there is a link to the Citizens Academy. So if you drop into I Caught You Caring on that same administrative page, there's a link to the Citizens Academy, and there's a little kind of form at the bottom. You can give us your interest. So if it's something you're interested in for next year, go ahead and drop us a link in that form. We'll put you in our database, and as soon as we open up registration next summer for next fall's class, you'll get a notification and be able to retain a spot for next year's class. Moving down the council agenda, we also had a public hearing for a subdivision that we've been working on with the Gateway Housing LLC and Dogwood Trust over on John Smith Road. And there were no citizens that came to speak at that hearing. The council heard two separate presentations. After that, we had a presentation from an engineering firm that we had hired to come in and kind of give us a doctor's checkup, if you will, of our streets, to kind of look at it from an engineering point of view and to put a priority ranking based on engineered terminology on our street system. So with 100 being the best and 0 being the absolute worst, on average, a town street in the town of Rutherton ranks at a 79, which overall is about an 80, and really a pretty good score. And so it allows us to kind of use that report now to begin prioritizing a little bit better how we pave, how we patch, and how we do preventative maintenance. And so, as I had mentioned in the council meeting, what we're seeing is that our revenues from gas tax, and so the town typically uses the gas tax revenues for street maintenance. And over the last few years, we've seen that gas tax continue to erode and become smaller distributions every year as cars become more fuel efficient, as hybrid technology and full electric technology become more prevalent in our marketplace. We're starting to see that the gas tax is eroding. So this plan will give us the opportunity to really prioritize and maximize our dollar for our street maintenance. And so I know Keith is excited to begin using this. We've already started using the report even prior to the presentation, and we'll continue to use that. And then secondly, they heard a report from an engineering firm that we hired to kind of do an update to our wastewater treatment master plan. So back in 2015, we had engaged with a local firm that was in operation at the time, and they've since closed, to kind of give us a status report of our wastewater treatment plant. We've been using that report for the last 6 years to kind of go through our wastewater treatment plant and to really make priorities and do some capital planning. And it was time for us to update that report. So that was out at the council meeting. Both of those links are on the agenda. And then it came time for the council to vote on the development agreement and kind of the final approval phase for the development on John Smith Road. And I think everybody's just kind of delighted to move us forward. This has been a long-term priority for the town council. It's an integral part of Magnolia's work with the town through community development. And so that subdivision will feature 94 units. 60 of those will be in 5 buildings for multifamily, and then 34 single-family homes that will be sold for affordable workforce housing. And we just can't be more delighted to move that project forward with Gateway Housing and the Dogwood Trust. So anything you want to say on that one, Magnolia?
I'm just so excited. I know that I kind of made a little blip in my foundation names during my report and everything, but it's okay. But I'm just so excited for the work that the Gateway Foundation is doing in our community. And I know that we are going to start taking some names for people who are interested in that housing very, very, very soon. So we just have to work with Gateway to figure out what kind of information that they need. But absolutely have that on your radar. Keep following Brewtiful Mornings for more updates on that.
Yeah. So next week, actually, we're going to be kind of having a pre-construction meeting with the contractor, with the developer. And, over the next probably month and a half, 2 months, you're going to start to see that development come to life. But really, as far as home ownership, those that are interested in the project from a home ownership perspective, as the project kind of comes together, these things do take time. And with supply chain issues right now, they're going to be a little bit, delayed. So anticipate probably the first home being ready to kind of be move into or to be sold. Honestly, it's probably going to be sometime between the second and third quarter of 2022. So we're probably looking at June or July of next year before, we see the streets in, the sidewalks in, all the infrastructure in place, the homes coming out of the ground and being ready for sale. So, and the plan with the 34 homes is to complete about 10 homes a year. So just a little over a 3-year build out for the 34 homes. So we cannot be more excited about that. And we'll definitely keep you informed as those come online. Now, the next thing that I am most excited about is there was a budget amendment that was done on the agenda to the tune of $369,000, of which $361,000 of that was all outside funds, private donations, and some grants that the town received. And I'm getting a nod from Magnolia, so I'm hoping that I'm not going to say this and it doesn't happen. But we're going to bring on Sarah Ross, who is our library director. Many of y'all have met Sarah before. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. How are y'all?
We are awesome. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah. So one of the items on the budget amendment was some grant funding from Western North Carolina Impact for a staff position at the library to cover 2 years of salary and operations for a new staff position at the library. So I'm going to toss it over to Sarah and let her kind of give an overview of that position, and then we can talk more about, if you're interested to apply or if you know somebody that's interested to apply. So good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on this morning. We are so incredibly grateful to the WNC Bridge Foundation for our impact grant, which is going to cover 2 years' salary of this position, plus a good portion of the employer cost of benefits. WNC Bridge Foundation is a 501c3 that serves 18 counties in Western North Carolina, and their focus is really on expanding equity and access to vulnerable populations and communities and promoting health and education for young people. So we're thrilled about receiving this grant from them. Grateful for their support. The name of the position is the Early Literacy and Youth Services Specialist. We felt it was really important to include the phrase early literacy in this position because one of the crucial parts of the position is going to be providing in-house story times. We know a lot of our local families really enjoyed coming in and doing that with Miss Vanessa. So we're looking to restart that program. And these programs are going to be early literacy enhanced story times. So not just, fun books that we're reading aloud to people, but also focusing on letter recognition and some other activities, maybe a fun little craft involving letters that can really help kids develop those early literacy skills. As anyone I think that serves in literacy or early education knows that reading aloud to kids, even before they can talk, is one of the most important elements in early literacy development. And literacy development is a major indicator for later academic success. So by focusing efforts in this area, we're not only helping, just improve the lives of local families, but we're also helping out our education system. We're helping out our economic development, our workforce. Having a literate, skilled workforce is a benefit for any community. So we're really thrilled about this position and the positive impact it can have on our community as a whole. If anyone's interested in the position, it should be really fun. Again, this is not necessarily a library position. You don't have to have worked in a library or even really set foot in a library. What we're really looking for is someone that's really passionate about working with kids and is really passionate about reading to kids, connecting families with great books that they can read to their kids, promoting library services in the community. So what we're really looking for is somebody that's gonna go out into the community, bring some of our wonderful books, our wonderful STEM kits that we've added to our collection with our Facebook Community Action Grant, and kind of help improve access to library materials and services for local families. So if you're interested, again, I think what we're just asking for the regular town application. We're asking for a resume and just a short letter of interest. Let us know why you think you'd be a good fit for this position and what your interest is. Do you just love working with kids? Are you passionate about reading? Have you always been interested in early education or STEM education? And you want a chance to kind of explore that passion while providing a very necessary and very wonderful service to local families. So if you're interested, you can access the application and some more information on the position at our website, norrispubliclibrary.org. It's also available on the town website. So explore it. Give us a call over here at the library, drop it off. I'm always here to talk to anybody that may want to call and just ask a few questions. And we're going to, our original deadline for the applications was today, Friday the 5th, but we're going to be extending that another week. We really want to give everyone a chance to really explore the position and give people the opportunity that might be interested to apply. So next week, next Friday, the 12th, which also happens to be our Gregory Christie event, which I'm going to plug here in a minute, if that's okay with you guys. That's going to be the deadline for the applications. So let us know if you're interested.
So the grant covers 2 years of salary and benefits, which I guess puts us through November 2023, something like that, or December 2023. Many of you that, have been watching for a while know that we've had to, work through our staffing through COVID and budget issues, and that our library historically has had 3 full-time staff positions, and this grant will reestablish that 3 full-time staff positions plus our part-time staff that's at the library. And I cannot make any promises for future town councils in 2023, but it is our vision, goal, and hope that this position really kind of is a catalyst in our community and is something that the town, from the staffing standpoint and from my standpoint, is a goal to continue to retain. So yes, we want to be very forthcoming that the funding for this is, to capture 2 years, but our long-term vision is to restore 3 librarians and can continue to keep an early literacy and youth specialist. Moreover, from the things that Sarah talked about, but also as an integral part in our partnership with Kid Census and the factory. Sarah kind of touched on our STEM kits and our STEAM kits, but that's a really, kind of integral vision for the town. I know Sarah can kind of probably go over another 10 minutes of a lot of the changes that have been made in Norris Library. So if you're interested in this position, maybe you haven't been in Norris Library in a while, I encourage you to swing in and just see the changes, the new shelving, the way that things are featured, and I can let Sarah kind of briefly talk about those. But I really just wanted to come on and say that this is a very great opportunity for the town. It's a great opportunity for somebody to come in and become a team member at the Norris Library. But overall, for our community, the impact that this is going to make is a long-term vision for us.
Thank you. Yes, I could definitely go on and on about everything that we're excited about here at the library, the changes that we've been making, and our growing partnership with Kid Census, which we value so much. As far as the changes that have been made in the library, we would love for families to come in and explore our new STEM room. We recently got funded by the Kiwanis Club to develop some signage in this new STEM room, create a cozy toddler reading nook in the children's wing, get a proper work table for kids to explore the STEM kits in the central STEM room. And just, Doug, just to echo what you're saying, I do feel like this is a wonderful chance for the community as a whole. We serve wonderful families, wonderful people here in the library, and we want to expand that. We want to improve access for everyone in the community and make sure everyone in the community, all of our populations, know that this is a place for them, and we have materials and services for them, and that everyone is truly welcome here. So that's what we're most excited about. And another crucial part of this position is someone that's not just comfortable with, but is excited about going out into different communities and talking to people and really talking up the library. So if you have a love for that, if you have a love with talking to different people, just people from different walks of life, we definitely want to hear from you. So thank you for helping us plug that.
So you sprinkled some seeds for our Gregory Christie event that's coming up next weekend, right?
Yes, it's coming up. I can't believe it. We've been really excited about this ever since this spring when Facebook, which is now Meta, approached us. The Facebook company, which is now Meta, approached us about this with this wonderful opportunity to host this multiple award-winning illustrator, R. Gregory Christie. He's an NAACP Image Award winner. He's a Coretta Scott King Award winner. He has written or illustrated or both over 60 books that are available just in libraries across the country. We are thrilled to have him come here to our community and host a series of workshops next weekend. These start on Friday around noon. He's going to come to Rutherford Elementary School. We're so thrilled that Principal Clement and media specialist Ashley Garland and art teacher Aubrey Bell have welcomed us into the school to provide this great design and illustration course for the fourth graders in Rutherford Elementary School. They're going to be designing a book cover with Mr. Christie, and every kid is going to go home with one of these great beginner illustrator art kits that we've got. So the fourth graders will each take this one home. We have a teen event later in the day, right after school hours, 3:30 until 4:30 p.m., which is going to be about exploring identity. It's going to be about identity, entrepreneurship, how to make a living doing what you love, which is something that Mr. Christie has successfully navigated in his own life and is really passionate about teaching teens how to kind of explore their interests, live authentically, which is just a wonderful program for teens that are about to take that next step into early adulthood and advanced education in the workforce. So we're accepting registrations for that now. We are getting registrations for our teen program. Encourage everyone that knows a teen that has any interest just in art or anime or any fun things like that to go ahead and register for this great program next week. It's going to be a pretty small program, should be about 20. We have 20 spaces for teens. So it's going to be a program where they can actually interact directly with an award-winning illustrator, ask him questions just about his journey, as an artist and illustrator and entrepreneur. Later that evening, we have our family program. We have 2 sessions of this family program, and it's a family bookbinding program. All the families are also going to get one of our illustrator kits, and they're going to get a signed book by Mr. Christie as well. And this is going to be a lot of fun. Mr. Christie is going to teach families how to basically make their own books, bind their own books. We're buying a lot of awesome art supplies for it. Again, all donated by Meta. Thank you for supporting this program. Our first family program is going to be 5:30 to 7:30 Friday evening. The second session of that same book program, the family bookbinding program, is going to be 10 until noon on Saturday the 13th. So can't wait to host Mr. Christie. Can't wait to see the art that families and teens and kids make through these programs. So if you're interested, pop over to our website, norrispubliclibrary.org. You'll find a direct link to the registration forms. I need more coffee there if you're interested, and always give us a call if you have any questions about it. But we're thrilled and we can't wait for next weekend. Thank you.
Well, Sarah, we're excited too, and we appreciate everything that you're doing with Norris Library. I know that you've really forged some really strong partnerships, and it shows through at least the 2 things we've talked about this morning to highlight with our event next weekend with Gregory Christie. And then obviously the staffing through Western North Carolina Bridge Foundation. So if you're watching this morning, maybe you know somebody, maybe there was somebody that was instrumental as maybe a teacher assistant or somebody in your preschool program that's looking to kind of move up the next level in their career, or like Sarah said, just all around, just excited to be around youth and kids and reading. Please share the information about this job posting with them. We've found that a lot of times in our community, word of mouth is a little bit better than an ad in the newspaper, and so we want to definitely be able to find a way to get the word out about this opportunity to join the team here and to do some impactful work in our community.
Thank you.
Oh, Jackson, you are welcome for the
Happy
birthday wishes,
Jackson.
buddy. We also at the council meeting kind of heard an update on COVID and kind of a COVID response. So I gave an update on our shot clinics. The town was a host through FEMA and the Community Health Council of Rutherford County for a free drive-through vaccine clinic. We hosted those early in October and then again on the 29th and the 30th. The totals for that were we gave a total of 13 first doses, 75 second doses, 147 booster shots for a total of 235 participants through the vaccine clinic. Obviously,
I'm going to go schedule my booster now. Bye.
Hey, hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on just one more second. So FEMA reached out to the town because they indicated that these were some really good numbers for their outreach. And so they will be coming back on Saturday, December the 11th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. to host the exact same style, drive-through, Public Works, 230 North Cleghorn Street. They'll have access to all the vaccines, so the Johnson & Johnson, the Pfizer, and the Moderna. And they follow the CDC guidelines and the FDA guidelines on how the vaccines are given out. So if at that time it is allowable for them to give vaccines to our youth, then they will give vaccines to those that are eligible. So if you are eligible based on all of the federal guidelines, you will be able to get the vaccine there at that clinic on December the 11th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, Sarah, if you want to make a drive-through and with no appointment needed whatsoever, you just drive right on in, and they will administer either your first dose, your second dose, your booster shot, or again, if our youth are, if you have a youth that is available in the guidelines, they will administer those shots as well. And again, as an adult, if it's your first time through, whatever vaccine that you feel the most comfortable with, that is the vaccine that you are able to get. So if you want the Johnson & Johnson, they have ample supply. If you want the Moderna, they have ample supply. If you want the Pfizer, they have ample supply. So that'll be on December the 11th. We'll get some more information out with that and through the Community Health Council in the coming week. But we're excited to have them back on December the 11th. So maybe that saved you a phone call. Maybe it didn't. I don't know, Sarah.
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me on this morning, guys.
Thanks. There was a slew of other grants and opportunities in that budget amendment. Some that are going to take a little bit more time for us to walk through, and you'll be intimately hearing about those as we move forward. There were some grants to Rutherton Roots, and they're going to be planting some seeds for some future growth. How about that for some? And then there was also a grant for what we call Second Street Park. RHI Legacy Foundation made a grant to Second Street Park, and you'll be hearing more about that. We're going to have a community meeting coming up with our revitalization committee and with our recreation committee. And, so that's to be some new play equipment to refurbish the basketball court and the basketball goals. For new goals, refurbish the court similar to like we did over at Crestview Park last year, and then add a shelter and some play equipment to that park. So we're really excited to kind of refresh that park asset and to better serve that community moving forward. And the biggest news was that the Dogwood Foundation has made a grant of around $175,000 to the work that we're doing in our urban revitalization area. And we cannot be more excited for that, as that work and that committee is really having an impactful kind of mission and work in our community with the urban redevelopment area. And so that's really going to kind of give us some funds for professional help there, some implementation, and some land banking. So I'm excited about what that's going to bring. And maybe in a future episode, we'll kind of spend a lot more time, maybe get some committee members from the Redevelopment Commission on and kind of talk through that work. And then lastly, on council agenda, the board approved Adam Thomas to sit on our recreation committee. So we want to thank Adam for his volunteerism to kind of step forward and bring his expertise in recreation to our recreation committee. Some of you maybe know Adam. He's an integral volunteer over at Rutherton Roots, but is kind of immorphed in our community here. And we're excited to have him serve on our rec committee. And they're going to be looking at, obviously, the improvements to Second Street Park, but also some bigger improvements for kind of picking up the master plan for the Norris Recreation Complex, moving that forward with some grant opportunities in the spring.
And I think you did miss one small thing with our COVID update, is that our town council voted to open up all of our town facilities again. So I'm going to drop a link in the comments where you can actually reserve all of our facilities online. We get so many calls a day about just the rental process and everything, but it is so easy to go in, create an account, and pay for the rentals and sign all the waivers and everything online. And in addition, Doug, do you want to?
I'm just going to say this. So the council also voted to ensure that we move forward with our Christmas parade. And that was a screenshot of a text message chain that I had with Scott Weber, who is the town manager over in Spindale, just kind of confirming our long-standing Christmas parade partnership. And so I want to thank our partner with the town of Spindale. The Spindale Rutherford annual Christmas parade is back, and Santa is coming. So get excited. Be watching our social media, the town of Spindale social media, over the next week or so as we get applications ready and prepare for the fun excitement around the holiday season for our annual Christmas parade. That will be on December the 4th. And traditionally, the Christmas parade starts in Spindale at 3 o'clock and then regathers and starts again in Rutherford at 5 o'clock. So be on the lookout for more information. Go ahead and set your calendars. Be ready for December the 4th for some fun. We'll also have our tree lighting ceremony and all of the fanfare that goes around with the holiday season. I know our public works elves are working very hard on some Christmas displays along the Purple Martin Greenway. So you're not going to want to miss that as a new holiday tradition here in Rutherfordton to really go down to Kiwanis Park. That will be appropriately decorated and really be festive for the holidays. And then, like I said, our crew at Public Works has been feverishly working on some new Christmas decorations along the Purple Martin Greenway. So you're not going to want to miss that ability to walk the loop, as we're going to call it. So you would start at Kiwanis Park or anywhere downtown, walk down through Kiwanis Park, circle back the Greenway and see all the holiday displays, and then come back up to Main Street to complete that loop. So it's going to be a fun time towards the middle part of this or the early part of December as we celebrate together.
Now, Doug, I have a question. Did you tell Scott Weber that you love him through an elf gift?
Scott's my boy. Maybe I did. You know, we kid on that. You know, one of the things that I do want to say about Scott and the town of Spindale is, you know, I've been here with the town of Rutherford 7 years. I believe Scott's getting ready to come up on an anniversary with the town of Spindale. He and I started as town managers here locally. I had been a town manager somewhere else and kind of moved here and took over as a town manager 7 years ago. And Scott and I took over about the same time together, and we work really well together. I appreciate Scott. We talk on a very frequent basis about all different types of things for our communities. We work very well together, and I'm just excited to see some of the fun things that are happening in Spindale too. They're getting ready to start. They're getting ready to have a grand opening for their downtown streetscape that's completed. And Scott's been doing some great work in Spindale, but I do love working with Scott, love the town of Spindale, and we are good partners with them. So quite possibly there could have been some bro love with Scott through a gift. Yes, I'll say that.
But I mean, I love him if he is getting on board with our Christmas parade. So I'm very excited.
See, the thing though with Scott is he might get on board with the Christmas parade, but he's not going to get on board with getting in an elf outfit.
Are the elves coming back?
I heard water cooler talk about the elves, so I was just putting that out there while we were live.
Well, okay.
And then the last thing I want to say is, you know, a lot of times you hear towards the tail end of our council meetings that the town council is going into a closed session. And the closed sessions are really meant for, attorney-client privileges. When we talk about real estate matters, we talk about litigation, we talk about land acquisition, if there's personnel issues or personnel changes, economic development, major contracts that we're negotiating, so that negotiating positions are not, in public session, and then they come everything that would be a final approval process comes back into open session usually at the next council meeting or council meeting on down the line for approval. I just want to make a note of that because there's been a certain building on our main street that has kind of been a nemesis for some time now. And I do want to say that the town has been working feverishly to figure out a strategy to figure out how to correct the issue that's been going on Main Street. And in that closed session, the groundwork was laid to begin kind of formally moving that process into an implementation phase. And you'll hear more about that at our December town council meeting. But I do want to say that a lot of these things, when we get into legal issues, when we get into working with the court system, these issues can unfortunately, and not by the wishes of staff or the council, take a lot longer than one would anticipate. And at our meeting in November, we are finally kind of moving forward, starting the race, if you will, and moving into the implementation phase of kind of helping that situation be abated. So again, I don't want to speak too much about it, but I do want to kind of give some sprinkles of hope that is moving forward as we go into December. Did the elf come back?
I just got a present.
Ooh, the 2022 Rutherton Police Department calendar.
Look how good that picture looks.
It's almost like the photographer.
I know. They should get a little extra in their paycheck. I'm kidding.
The last thing I want to say that I had kind of on my list is just a reminder. Leaf season has started. Our public works team has started their annual curbside leaf pickup. But this is also kind of going into the rainy season. So as you guys know, it rained most of the day yesterday, and the leaves are going to continue to fall. As you rake your leaves out to the curb or out to the roadside, please do not put those over the storm drains. Do not put those over the drainage systems. Find a really suitable spot for those leaves to be piled for our staff to come through and pick those up. A lot of times what we run into this time of year is those leaves are put out into the actual street, put on top of storm drainage, or put in a ditch. And when we have these larger rain events, it causes localized flooding, and we don't want to do something to exacerbate any flooding issues in the community. So please be very mindful about where you place your leaves. And then lastly, still on the same public works route, we are working with our drivers of our trash and recycle pickup to kind of redo our "We Tried to Serve You Today." So if you got one of these, it's kind of like a little no-no. It gives some information around placement of cans, and I really kind of want to put that up there. Placement of cans. Many of you know that we use an automated truck to service our trash and recycle cans in the community, and our drivers are starting to see two really big issues continue to be exacerbated in the community. One is that the can itself is not being placed at the road with the lid opening towards the street. So if you push your can out to the road, you should be pushing it out to where the can and the lid is facing the road itself. If it's turned around, that means the handles are facing the road and not the lid. And when our drivers dump your can and it goes into the hopper, it doesn't empty all the way. There is a high likelihood that if there's some garbage or some recycling that's at the bottom of your can, it's not going to go all the way into the hopper. And there's also a high likelihood that the can's lid can get stuck in our truck. So as it goes over and it's done the right way, the lid flops over this way and it doesn't get stuck in the truck. If the can lid is facing facing the street or not facing the street, it flops into our bin and can get crushed. And we'll have some video of that as we move forward. But please make sure that the can lid is facing the street. Tina, absolutely. If you will send us a direct message with your street address, we will put that in. And then also right on our webpage, on our homepage, is a link that you can request a new can to. But you can either do it through our homepage, Rutherton.net, or you can send Magnolia and I a direct link with your street address, and we will put a work order in for that. So one, please make sure your can lids are facing the street. Do not have your handles facing the street. That's critically important. And then two, what we're seeing is our cans are being placed very close to other items. And so again, we're reaching out with an arm and we're picking that can up and dumping it. But what we're seeing is cans are being placed next to power poles. Cans are being placed directly next to another can, directly next to vehicles, fences, obstructions. And so please give us, 2 or 3 feet of unobstructed clearance around that can to better serve you. If you see that maybe historically you're putting your can in the same location, and when you come back to pick your can up, it's in a different location, that's an indication from our driver that location that he left the can is a much more suitable location for him to service your can next week. It's not that he's moving the can. It's an indication that is a much better and more suitable location, because what he had to do was he had to pick your can up, pull it in just a little bit, move it down the block, and then service your can and put it back. So again, just be very mindful of your clearances around your cans. It helps our team, helps us be a lot more efficient, and in the end helps us save money and serve you better. So you'll be seeing, if for some reason your cans are not with good clearance or not having their carts facing the right way with the lid opening on the street, and there is an arrow right on the top of the can, it says facing the street. You'll be getting one of these, and we're working through some updates on this. And this is just a little hanger that our driver will put on your can to kind of give you some information as to maybe why we didn't pick up the can or why the can's in a different location moving forward. This is where you're supposed to say something, Magnolia.
It's a good morning.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us for Brewtiful Mornings. Next week, we get to celebrate Veterans Day. We are closed on Thursday in light of Veterans Day. We want to thank wholeheartedly all of our veterans in the community that have served. You'll get to see all of our veterans that have been memorialized in banners along Main Street. Those banners will be going up early next week for our Veterans Day celebration here in town on the 11th. And then you don't want to miss the Gregory Christie events that Sarah spoke so great about this morning. So make sure you get signed up for those. Have we already dropped comments about the Christie event for registration links?
I did. I dropped our news post to our website that goes into details about the event and has the everything.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's all I had.
Awesome. We got a busy morning this morning.
We did. We've been on almost an hour.
48 minutes and 54 seconds.
All right. Well, we hope everybody has a wonderful Friday. Thank you for joining us. I forget the lady's name. Forget the lady's name was asking about the trash can. Tina. Definitely on our, like I said, on our homepage, send us a direct message. We'll put in a work order for that. And that's just a good tool for anybody. On the direct link on our homepage, right as you kind of scroll down under the news items, there's a way for you to kind of go through different items if you're having trouble with stuff. Maybe it's a street light out, maybe a sign is missing, new trash can, whatever the case may be, a way for us to serve you. You can just hit that button and it sends us a direct link with the information that you've provided for us to serve you better. So you can always do it that way, and you can always send us a direct message through social media. So hope everybody has a wonderful Friday, and we will see you back next week.
And guess what? I'm not going to forget to do the outro today.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was